So when it comes to my favourite verse in the Bible, I must admit it's not an easy question. There are so many good ones, and in such a large book or collection of books, with so much wisdom for almost every situation you could face, it's hard just to pick one. And to be honest, I struggle generally with, what's your favourite questions, because it can depend so much on your moods, the stage of life you're at, or a different experience you're coming out of. Just like how you might fancy different foods. And there's so much that can affect which particular verses or passages even speak to you or resonate with you in different ways. But if I was to choose just one, it'd be one of the first ones I actually memorised fully. I remember answering this same question, what is your favourite Bible verse, with this one quite a few years ago now, because it was the only one I could confidently recite. It's John 11:35, and it's just two words, Jesus wept. As you can see, it's quite easy to remember. It's the shortest verse in the Bible, and it's quite a sad one, really, but it says so much. To put it into context, Lazarus, one of Jesus' friends, had just succumbed to his illness and died. Jesus was comforting his grieving sisters, Mary and Martha. Now, he does go on to miraculously resurrect Lazarus, bring him back from the dead. This was always his plan, I'd imagine, but in spite of knowing this, he wept, because it wasn't his death that pushed Jesus to tears. It wasn't the thought of not being able to see him again. It was that he was so moved by human grief and the pain that it can cause us, he wept. He didn't say, don't worry, I'll just bring him back. He realised that and appreciated that death is sad, even though we do have hope, whether that's in an immediate miracle or the ultimate promise of everlasting life. The God of all creation, who came in human form to save us, clearly can connect with us on this level, and clearly, I think in this verse, reveals his motives for coming down to save us. It's his love for us. He wants us to be free from suffering and death. And he wants to free us so much that he went to the point of experiencing it himself. His character is not an emotionless and distant one. And in fact, I would say that a lot of our emotions come from God. We're made in his image. Jesus wasn't governed by his emotions, but he has genuine empathy and feeling for his children. And he still does today. He can relate and understand us. And he didn't have to come to earth in order to appreciate that. He's all-knowing, but he did. And there's significance in that. He knows firsthand our struggles. It was the real deal when he came to earth. And these two words of this verse just tell you so much of an important truth about God's character. So when we weep, though we do have hope that Jesus gave us, we also know that when we're sad, Jesus doesn't belittle us. And in fact, when his friends on earth mourned, he mourned with them. And he's with us today when we mourn. But he promises to wipe away every tear from our face in the end. We can't avoid the suffering that's inevitable in our lives, but we know that God will always be with us through it all.